Welcome back to Newsfeed PM. Let's give you some business news now. The South African economy is expected to gain some 88 billion rand from this month's Black Friday shopping campaigns. That's according to data from the Bureau of Marketing Research and Capital Connect. The recent NIQ Retail Spend Barometer also shows that South African shoppers spent around 181 billion rand on fast-moving consumer goods in the second quarter, a 4.8% rise compared to last year. Now, shopping is also expected to be boosted by the two-pot withdrawal windfalls. I'm now joined by Capital Connect's Gerhard, Roux on this particular topic. Looking at this particular period, it's very exciting for some shoppers, especially those that have put away the money, Gerhard. But you've done around some research around the spending patterns, and it's very, very interesting. Consumer interest in Black Friday is expected to be higher in 2024 than in the past 3 years. What exactly is pushing this? Because, as we know, the economy has been quite tough this year.
Yes, Motheo, thank you very much for having me. Yes, there's a lot of positivity around the consumers. I think the retailers as well, they desperately need some good business coming this festive season. So there's a number of factors. You mentioned to it earlier, but the cut in the interest rate, the last 5 months, we saw a reduction in the fuel price. That's got a contributing factor to all of this as well. And then the two-pot system that also got announced a few months ago. All of these factors, I think, adds to that. And obviously lowering of the inflation rate. All of this adds to the typical consumer that's got additional spending money that they can hopefully put towards some of these retailers that desperately need the business come this Black Friday and then leading into the festive season.
And were you able to track just how consumers plan to fund this year's spend? Are they using savings, credit cards, or even microloans to make sure they're getting on the discounted items?
It's still quite a big spread across all of those income streams. Usually this time of the year, it is also bonus time for a lot of these consumers that hopefully spends that money. But predominantly, some of them will tap into their savings if they have, but we've also seen some numbers increase on the credit card side, which is not always the best option for some of the consumers. And obviously on the opposite side, for the retailers, it also hurts them from a processing fee perspective. So it's still going to be quite a big spread across multiple income streams.
And what are those popular items that South African shoppers are going for when there are sales like Black Friday? And which retailers stand to benefit the most?
So it's interesting. In the past, it used to be quite a big online component into the Black Friday segment. But over the years, it's actually increased more towards the stores. And with our study that we conducted through the Bureau of Market Research, it shows that this year around, only about 6% will be online only. So if you think back, I think most people, if they think about Black Friday, it's about these big TVs and appliances, etc. But the biggest winners this time around is going to be the grocery stores, your general dealers. People are looking for specials when it comes to actual food and some basic necessities like washing powder, etc. After that, you'll start to see your clothing stores, footwear stores, etc., getting a big boost. And then only your appliances, your furniture, and lastly, your hardware stores. So that's kind of going to be the categorization between the 5 different sectors.
This year is a bit different because, of course, we had the two-pot retirement system withdrawals also come through well into the billions now, with a lot of applications still coming through. Are you expecting that cash flushness for consumers, that 28,000 Rand odd, will make sure that those sales go up this year?
Definitely, they can already see it. And I mentioned this before, the biggest winner is the general dealer. Now, if you think of a general dealer, think of a supermarket that when a consumer goes and visits that supermarket, they get everything in there. It's a one-stop shop. They can buy their groceries, they can stop for a coffee, maybe there's a sushi bar, etc. So that diversification in store from the retailer side has attracted their feet to go and do a one-stop shop, which means the basket size increases, their spend increases. And the retailers that are savvy and that use opportunity capital to quickly put some of these diversification options in their store, they're going to be the biggest winners. And ultimately, they can bring their price down, which makes sure that the consumer is getting the best price, which can help their pocket in the process as well.
Now, this could also be an opportunity for retailers like Pick n Pay, who hasn't had a great year, to try and claw back some numbers, maybe even punting Boxer stores to try and get more sales.
Definitely. The opportunity is there. It's going to be the retailers that are the most savvy. You kind of like want to put a survivor theme to this, outlast, outsmart, and outplay your competitors. And you need to make sure that you jump on these opportunities. And there's a big component of shop attainment is the term that we use. That when that consumer is inside the store, you need to make sure that you keep their attention and that the positivity and the diversity that happened in that store with their shopping, that gets transferred over to their family, their friends, their colleagues, etc. So they can also then go to that specific store. So shop attainment, customer service, all of these components are key to make sure that those consumers return to your store specifically.
Now, the timing of the Black Friday sales this year, Black Friday, of course, on the 29th of November. Does the timing also create a certain mood ahead of the festive spending season, maybe jolting it to be more than it actually is?
For sure. The study also shows us that for Black Friday, for November, the entire month, it's going to be about 19% more sales compared to the average month, first 10 months of the year. And then that goes up to about 38% in December. So the Black Friday period is actually a springboard for the festive season. So your savvy consumers are going to spot their Christmas shopping gifts in November and buy it during a Black Friday period. But then we all know how the spend is going to increase during the festive season. And this is great news for a number of industries, especially the fuel industry that's been suffering over the last few years with COVID and load shedding. So this means consumers are going to drive more often to the stores. They're going to spend more on their petrol. Suppliers is going to drive to these stores more often because they need to make more deliveries, and that's going to increase the fuel spend. So there's a nice ripple effect in other industries that we've also uncovered through this market research.
Now, Capital Connect is a company that's right in the middle of it. I mean, you offer loans to micro businesses. Are they approaching you to say we need more stock and we need to make sure that we have more in our inventory, so borrow us more money?
Yes, the savvy ones are. There is this expectation that maybe these short-term funders are very expensive. But Motheo, the honest truth is that if you lose out on an opportunity, that's a lot more expensive. So yes, you might find traditional ways of finding funding to work for you, and it's a little bit more cost effective. But the problem is it sometimes takes 6 to 8 weeks for that funding to be approved, where ours is in 24 hours. Now, these savvy retailers spots an opportunity, but they need to capitalize on that immediately. And that's where short-term funders like us come in. The retailer can then quickly buy that items in bulk, get an early settlement discount or a COD discount. And that's then putting him in front of these competitors to make sure that he can offer the best possible price to the consumers. And ultimately, that's going to lure the feet into his store.